CHGO Bears Podcast. Back in here on a Thursday, 2 weeks from the NFL draft.
How many days is that, Greg?
14 days.
Bang.
Bang.
You went to Arizona, came back smarter.
Yep.
I love it.
But 15 days from the greatest second day of an NFL draft party that you will ever attend at Joe's on Weed Street.
I'm really so excited for Friday. In fact, if I had tickets for Thursday, I'd trade them for Friday. But I wouldn't know if we have that option on our tickets, so
probably not.
I've had tons of people in the last few days like, hey, my tickets are sold out on Thursday. Come on Friday. Get drunk with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll be sober, but you guys can be drunk.
You're going to be drunk.
I actually might be.
I'm staying downtown
Minorly buzz.
So I'm ready to go.
I don't get drunk.
Staying downtown. You got Dalton and the Sheriffs as the after party.
I don't get drunk?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not, no.
I thought you were like bragging like you're incapable. By the way, Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr.
That's right.
with you. Braggs is back from Arizona.
I'm ready to work again.
He's back. He's ready to go. Always ready to work.
You were never gone. You were always here. You were right here. I didn't even know you were gone because we love you so much.
Always ready to work, as we know, is our friend Brian Baldinger, who joins us again on the program, and we are getting closer and closer to this draft. Baldy, I know you've been breaking everything down. Can't wait to talk to you about some of these guys today. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. I'm kind of tracking the news here today about everything that's going on, OJ, whatnot. But really, we're 2 weeks away, so I'm just I'm deep into round 5s and 6 right now. See what I can find, so I'm not surprised too much by some of these guys get taken on the third day.
Did you know the juice at all, Baldy?
I had met him with the guy that was driving the Bronco one day, Al Cowlings. He was a producer, and I was trying out for this movie role one time. If you might remember it, it was called The Last Boy Scout. Yeah. Al Cowlings was a producer in Hollywood, and I was like, I want to check out what Hollywood was all about. They were looking for football players to play these roles. So I went out to the LA Memorial Coliseum. They were filming at night, and the juice was there. That's the only time that I came across him.
Yeah.
The Last Boy Scout, that was with Bruce Willis, right?
Bruce Willis, yep. Oh. And Damon Wayans. I think Damon Wayans was in there. And I think at one point in the movie, I could have this wrong, I think Damon Wayans has like a gun in his sock, and he's running, and he pulls the gun out of the sock, and I don't know, something happened. So I don't know. It's a little fuzzy to me right now.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I'll have to watch it.
I'm telling you, underrated football film.
This is why we love Baldy, though. We can bring up something like that, and he's like, yeah, I met the guy that drove the Bronco.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's funny because like everybody's saying, okay, where were you when the Bronco was driving? So I was coming back from the Jersey Shore with this buddy of mine who played at UCLA because he got kicked out of Pitt because he was making more money back in the day than all the other guys at Pitt. So he had to go away. So he went to UCLA, and they say, we'll take care of you at UCLA. This is how things used to work before NIL and stuff. So anyways, my buddy played at UCLA, and we were teammates together in Philly. But we were sitting down, and we're watching the Bronco being driven, and he says to me, in real time, he goes, I know who's driving the Bronco. I'm like, what do you mean you know who's driving the Bronco? Nobody knows who's driving it. That's why we're all watching. He goes, no, it's Al Collins is driving the Bronco. I go, how do you know that? He goes, oh, that's Juice's buddy. That's his guy. And he was right. That was who was driving the Bronco that night.
Well, it's a weird day.
Do you remember where you were? I remember where I was. It's one of those moments. I was in Cape Cod with my family, and I remember sitting in the living room watching this as it was unfolding.
I just remember the Rockets and Knicks were playing in the NBA Finals, and I was pissed that they were getting
Yep,
split
that's
screen.
what I remember. Yep.
I knew it was June of '94, so it probably was NBA Finals. That sounds about right.
There's one of the 30 for 30s that ESPN did. They have a whole documentary on that day and all the different stuff that was going on in the sports world at the same time. It's really well done if you haven't seen that.
Okay.
Twitter's doing its thing right now too, and one of them was that if they don't do the funeral procession the same way of the Bronco chase, then they're doing it wrong, which feels a little bit wrong to say, but again, probably not wrong considering the circumstances.
I think this crosses over where it's fair game. Baldy, let's talk some draft here, okay? I know we got some guys we want to talk to you about, and I know you have some thoughts on some of these guys because, now that it's pretty much set on what the Bears are doing at number 1, we've been talking a lot about what they might do at number 9, and I'm a big believer that let's start with this, just positional value, because I remember we had you on, obviously we had you on weekly in the fall, and one of the times you really caught my ear on something was how you wouldn't draft a wide receiver super, super high just because you can always get wide receivers. I forget exactly what you said, but my point I'm bringing this.
What I said was if I was building a team, almost the last position that I would fill would be wide receiver. Yeah. Like I'm filling my trenches. I'm getting my, obviously my quarterback. I'm protecting my quarterback. I'm figuring out how to get to the quarterback. I'm protecting on the edge with my corners. Like it's not a priority position for me. And if you look at pick a draft and look at the wide receivers taken high. If you go back to 2014, Sammy Watkins was the 4th player. If you look at that draft, now Mike Evans is a great player. All right, I think he was the 10th pick. Devontae Adams is the next best wide receiver in that draft. He was number 53, I believe, 2nd round out of Fresno. And then you can just look at, Odell, who's in that draft. There's a lot of guys. But the top of the draft, these guys aren't part of teams that are winning Super Bowls. Now, Jamar Chase, got there, and other guys have gotten there. But, because you're taking these guys in the top 10, it doesn't ensure anything about your team's success.
Which is why and I made this point last week on the show, I just find it hard to believe that we're going to see 4 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers go in the first 7 picks. And you know what? If that does play out, it's better for the Bears because there's a chance that they could get the best defensive player in the draft potentially at number 9, and they could say we got the best offensive player and the best defensive player in the same draft.
Well, that's ideally what the Houston Texans did last year as far as rookies when they got CJ and Will. But who's the best defensive player? I'm just curious what you're.
Well, that's why you're here, Baldy. We want to ask you that. Who do you like there as the top defensive guy?
I think it's a position of need, and I think he's the best defensive player. Like you could go corner, but the Bears don't need corner because I think there's some good corners in this draft. I think the Bears are pretty good at corner right now. Tyreek and Jalen and Kyle and whatnot. But I think Dallas Turner is a really good player. He looks pro ready to me right now. Coming out of Alabama, Will stole the spotlight the year before when he was there, but he was a good player in 2022. And then last year you watch him, just pick any game. These guys, it's not all about sacks, about what your approach to sacking a quarterback is, your effort that you play with, the versatility that you have. Like it looks to me like Dallas Turner could easily be the first defensive lineman off the board in this draft.
So if Turner's there and Alt's there, which it's obviously a lot more likely that Turner would be there, but let's just say hypothetically they're both there. Which of those two would you take, Baldy, if you're the Bears?
I like Joe Alt. He's I don't know how much better Joe's going to get. He's already a great technician. I knew his dad real good, John. His dad played with my brother in Kansas City for a long time. And he's groomed he just is a natural left tackle. Like, I don't know how much better he's going to get, but if he's as good as, say, Joe Thomas, because he looks like Joe Thomas to me, like anybody would take that. That'd be an upgrade over Braxton Jones. And nothing against Braxton, but you would plug and play Joe Alt right now, at left tackle.
If you tell me the Bears could have Joe Thomas, I'm trading up.
Right, but it's but the thing is that I'm not saying that Baldy's wrong or you're wrong or anybody would be wrong making that pick, but it's also like you do have Braxton and you don't have anyone. Like that's like you're literally you have hopefully a guy that's going to continue to be serviceable versus just a complete need. So I think I personally probably
What's the complete need you're talking about?
You need somebody to pair with Montez Sweat. You don't have that player at all. I mean, he just doesn't exist on the roster.
Well, I mean, to me, Baldy, the biggest need to me is making sure they get Caleb Williams right. So my standpoint, I understand you need a pass rusher. I understand that, hey, offensive tackle might be the spot, and wide receiver in the top 10 maybe isn't your highest value at times for, positional need. But at the same time, with the failures the Bears have had with quarterbacks so many years, and this being such a vitally important spot to make sure you get Caleb Williams right. Keenan Allen, how long you're going to have him is not a guarantee. DJ Moore is going to get paid a boatload of money in a year. To me, I just think this is your last opportunity to have a top 10 pick, and you have to do everything you possibly can to do right by making sure you get Caleb Williams right.
No, I think, look, it's a great discussion. It really is. And it's a discussion that I think the Bears are having and should have, is if you can get a true blindside protector to the caliber that Joe Alt has been at Notre Dame, 3-year starter, all that stuff. Bloodlines. I remember his brother playing for the Flyers in the NHL. I mean, great bloodlines. Like if you get yourself that type of protector and you build the line as strong as you possibly can. And Braxton, look, if he becomes a swing tackle, he becomes a swing tackle. But I'm with you. Like, this could be the best situation for a number one drafted quarterback that we've ever seen. Look, it still might be. But if Joe Alt was available somehow, if he somehow slipped past both the Chargers, and by the way, Harbaugh recruited the hell out of him when he was at Michigan, and he spurned Michigan to go to Notre Dame. Like, maybe Harbaugh's like, you know what, Joe Alt's not getting away from me anymore. Like, I'm taking this guy. Now, they've got a left tackle, Rashawn Slater, but you might say, okay, let's put Joe at right tackle. I have no doubt he can play right tackle. But I don't think he's getting past Tennessee. But if that happens, if he got past the Chargers and Tennessee, and somehow, I mean, I don't think the Falcons would take him at 8. So I would say if he was somehow there, available, I think it would be hard to pass on.
Because the other aspect, too, is, I mean, next year the Bears have, their first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. So you're operating in this idea that, hey, they have to get this need this year, but you have to also be looking big picture as well.
Do you like Fashanu, Baldy?
Everybody likes Olu, except for the size of his hands. Everything. He's got the smallest hands and the biggest body that we've ever seen. It's just awkward. But you don't really notice it. I mean, I've done this. I did the research. Like, there's never been anybody 6'6", 320 pounds in this NFL draft that has 8.5-inch hands. So it's just a weird thing. But when you watch him play, he's a really good player. If he came out of the draft last year, I thought he would be a top 20 pick. But he can drop an anchor. He's a good player. I mean, if he was there at 10 for the Jets, it'd be hard for me at the Jets at 10. If he passed Chicago and he was there, it'd be hard for me at the Jets to pass on Olu. And he might not even start this year for the Jets. Like, he might have to wait and see what happens to Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses. But my comp, watching him this whole year, has really been, he looks like Tyron Smith coming out of USC. Like, that's who he reminds me of.
And he played with Caleb Williams in high school too, which is just may matter. May not matter. I don't know, but it's just definitely an interesting fact. Okay, so when we brought up pass rushers, we went to Dallas Turner first. I like Dallas Turner a lot. Just a little more curious rather than worried about how he would fit in the Bears defense. Whereas you look at Jared Verse, and he kind of seems more of like that prototypical Montez Sweat kind of hand on the ground 4-3 DN. What do you think about Jared Verse?
I like Jared Verse. I mean, he's probably a little bit bigger than Dallas, not by much, but I mean, he played a true defensive end at Florida State, whereas Dallas was a true outside linebacker. But I mean, you could be debating the difference between Nick Bosa and TJ what right now? Because one plays outside linebacker, drops occasionally into coverage, and one guy rushes, every play. So you could be debating. I'm not comparing Dallas Turner either player yet, but that's kind of the debate. This guy can put his hand in the dirt and rush the quarterback just as well as Jared can when you talk about Dallas Turner.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're actually almost the exact same height, and Verse has about 12 pounds on Dallas, at least with how they weighed in at the combine, which can always fluctuate depending on how they're training. But I do find that an interesting discussion between them. And then there's one other guy I want to discuss too. But Baldy, hang on one second. We're going to thank some sponsors.
One difference is just arm length, and I think that's really important. That shows up when Dallas Turner plays. Like, he's just got longer arms, and that length, I believe, is an important measurable that a lot of teams pay attention to.
Yeah, and we know the Bears are definitely one of those teams too. They love the arm length, and that could play a role in it as well. All right, real quick, because there's another guy I want to bring up with you, a pass rusher, Baldy, but want to make sure everyone's up to speed on what's going on with Circa, our friends at Circa Sportsbook, especially with some golf going on this weekend. This is one of the reasons why you want to go Circa, because they have tight money line splits. They're a low hole model. They strive to be at a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbook. Well, they may use minus 115 or minus 120. That just means they're taking more of your money off the top. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially with these golf tournaments compared to other books. I know I sprinkled a couple plays here. By a couple, I might mean like 8 to 10 on the Masters this weekend. I love the Masters.
Nerd.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of it. It's I'm all about Wyndham Clark this week.
Oh yeah,
Wyndham Clark.
Oh,
he's on a roll. I know you've never heard of him.
He's got a great belt, really good belt.
Okay, does he?
No idea.
High app limits. They're transparent. Circa Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
His dad's a former professional tennis player. His mom was Miss New Mexico. I'm all in on Wyndham Clark. By the way, he also was a classmate of Christian McCaffrey. Bring it back to football. Wyndham Clark, great golfer. Love that guy. What's also great is the trip that we're taking across the pond, going to London. Come with us via True Fan Travel. You get your flights. You get a 4 to 5 star hotel accommodation close to the action. We're going to have a welcome event at your favorite London pub. Wherever you want to go, that's where we're going to book it. We're having a private boat cruise on the River Thames.
Thames, right?
Thames?
Thames.
Thames?
Thames.
River Thames? Whatever. We're going to be on a river. It's going to be a private boat cruise. We're going to have a ton of fun. You should be there. All-inclusive tailgate party, upper-level ticket to the Bears game, transportation to and from, on-site coordinators. That's what Bragg's going to be doing. Breakfast at the hotel every morning, meet and greet with CHGO. It's going to be awesome. Celebrate the historic CHGO trip over to London via True Fan Travel with us. Custom travel packages all over the sports world, by the way. Your passport to the world of sports.
The beautiful River Thames.
The beautiful River Thames.
It's a little murky.
Baldy, you been on the River Thames?
Absolutely. I lived in London. Yeah, we did NFL Europe over there, for, I don't know, we were in London for 3 months every year for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something like that. I got my pubs all picked out. I know where to go and where to take all the fans too, for sure.
Oh, we're gonna have to consult Baldy on this trip.
Listen, I tell you, the last time I was in London, I was doing something for Sky Sports during the playoffs, and I remember I went to the House of Commons. I wanted to get in. There's a long line to get in the House of Commons. So we're waiting our turn, just like everybody else. And the security guard there, he recognized me, big Buffalo Bill fan. Just done a bunch of breakdowns on the Bills playoffs, whatever. I think the year that they lost to the Chiefs in overtime or something. He's like, he sees me. He's like, Baldy, like, I can't, and then he's British accent, British guy. And he took me and my buddy to the front of the line. We got into the House of Commons, man. We watched that debate go on, man. It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Baldy, you're like You're like Forrest Gump, but cool. You've literally been everywhere.
I'm a traveler. Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting cheated in this life, Baldy.
Did you like NFL Europe?
I loved it. And everybody that was a part of that, I did the games over there for 10 years, including the final game, which was in Frankfurt in 2007. Me and Bob Papa announced the game for, I guess, Fox or NFL Network, whatever it was back then. I loved it, though. I loved that league. I remember Kurt Warner in that league. And, John Kitna and, all the different guys that came out of that league became really good players. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Well, Baldy, the Packers are playing the Eagles week 1 in Brazil.
São Paulo, yeah.
You've traveled all around the world.
You're going
to be at that game. Okay, good. You get the inside there. So you've traveled all the world. You're fishing. You're on a beach somewhere. So where would you have wanted to play outside of the U.S.? Like, even a place that hasn't been played yet, where would you want to play a football game?
I played in 2 places. I played in the first game ever outside the United States was Dallas and the Bears after you won a Super Bowl, summer of '86. We played in London, America's game, so that was fun.
That's where that famous picture of Walter pointing at the. I think he's in the airport pointing at the whatever. There's a famous picture of Walter at the airport in London. Yeah.
So I remember the Fridge and Too Tall Jones taking a picture with Scotland Yard guards at one of the monuments there. And I remember going into a nightclub one night, and of course, McMahon is there, Fridge is there. It was like a nice reunion. What was the name of that pub? No, it wasn't a pub. It was a club. I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. But so I played there, and we played in Japan. We played 1 year in Japan when I was and I wouldn't recommend, going to Japan to play. It's just too hot. It's too humid. And because it's made for TV, you got to play at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's entirely too early to play any kind of sports at 10 o'clock in the morning. But yeah. I would say, I would go to South America and play. I'd go play in Buenos Aires or Rio or São Paulo. That'd be fun. I would do that. Those are good cities to go hang out in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Brazil game. It should be interesting. And, of course, if the Packers lose that game, maybe they could just leave the Packers there.
Yeah.
That'd be fine with us, too.
Baldy, the betting line has the Packers favored right now by 1.5 points in that game, if that's even possible to come out with a line.
Wow. I guess the way the Eagles ended last year, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I guess I could see why that's the public sentiment.
Is that an Eagles home game or a Packers home game? Eagles? Because I'm sure that's why Eagles fans are pissed, because I bet you more Packer fans show up for that game.
I don't know. Eagle fans travel.
Yeah.
Both travel.
Yeah,
well.
they both travel very well.
That's a good question, though, to see what fan base travels more to São Paulo.
Well, it's probably not an accident that both of those teams are in the game, because it's a little bit
off the beaten path.
It's a little bit harder to probably get to Brazil than it is with the amount of flights to London. And so
you need a visa. You need a visa to get into Brazil, so you got to go through that pain in the ass of getting a visa with your passport.
Interesting. So there you go. All right. Another pass rusher I want to ask you about, Chop Robinson, Penn State. What do you think about him?
He's lightning off the edge. I'll tell you that. He's got a great takeoff. He's got all the measurables. He wasn't ultra, productive from a sack number or quarterback hit number, but you could see a lot like when Arnold Ebiketie came out 2 years ago and Falcons took him. He's improved a lot. He's becoming, frontline player. I think this guy is a really talented player. And, there's a lot of people that have him ranked above Jared Verse right now. It's just a 4-3 defensive end. So he's getting a lot of attention. He doesn't have quite the length that you're looking for at that position that you like to see, but the speed and the burst and the takeoff is pretty good.
Let's play the Rome Odunze versus Malik Neighbors game. Is it a Dunze or a Odunze?
Odunze.
Odunze.
There are a lot of people in this city on, networks saying Odunze, and I'm like, it's amazing.
Anybody in the city, that's not a surprise. Chicago people
Chicago.
are
We don't say
notorious
names,
for
right?
butchering names.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Who do you like? If they're both there, Baldy, who do you like? Do you like the guy that high points the ball more, or do you like the guy that runs away from you better?
I like Rome. And it's not to knock Malik. But when I watch Rome, I had this guy come after me on Twitter saying, how can you have this much love for Rome Odunze? He has a 17% drop rate. And I knew that was wrong. But I was like, I'm not trusting any PFF or anybody out there. I'm just going to go watch every target of Rome Odunze last year. And it was like 150, including he was a punt returner as well. So I went back and watched every single target of Rome. He dropped 3 balls the whole year. Guy catches everything with his hands. His contested catch rate was like 75%, which is higher than Marvin, higher than anybody's. Like you throw the ball up in the air, the guy's coming down with the ball. I just think he's super ultra smooth, great hands, and he, nobody threw the ball deep as much as University of Washington did. The guy could track a deep ball and get underneath it and find a way to put his body on it. I like Odunze. I think he's bigger, might not be as thick, but he's taller, got a bigger range. Remind me, honestly, when I watch him, of a bigger, stronger, faster Garrett Wilson.
Wow.
That's a hell of a compliment right there. Hey, Baldy, quickly on the QB situation. There's rumors of the Vikings trading up to get JJ, and then to me it just seems crazy. Like, A, wait and see if he falls to you, which could happen. B, do you think he's that much better than Penix? Like, if you were gonna, Penix is a better thrower.
So here's what I would say to that question right there. Yeah. I'd say, okay, if you put J.J. McCarthy in Michael Penix Jr.'s offense at the University of Washington, are they playing for a national championship? And I'm saying no way. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good pro and he's not going to adjust, because it's all a projection, it's all an adjustment. But there's no way, in my mind, J.J. McCarthy is going to run that offense the way Penix did at Washington. And by the way, Penix's offense coordinator is now the offense coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. Like, that offense is coming to the NFL. So that would be my twist on the question you just asked.
Yeah. That was one of the more fascinating moves of the offseason. Didn't he go from Washington to Alabama for 2 weeks, back to the Seahawks in Seattle? Wasn't that what happened there?
Well, I mean, Kalen DeBoer, went to Alabama. So he might have gone with Kalen.
I think he did originally, and then he ended up getting hired by the Seahawks 2 weeks later.
Mike McDonald got the job for Baltimore after they lost in the playoffs. And I think you might be right. I think then when Mike got to the job, Mike got Coach Hugo, his name is Grubb. He got Grubb to go with him to Seattle. So you might be right with that.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
I hope for the Bears' sake, by the way, that JJ does fall, so that people might want to come up at 9.
I'd either want JJ to fall to 9, or I want the Vikings to give up multiple first-round picks for JJ McCarthy. Like
a true Bear fan. Leave Green Bay and Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yep. Don't let them come back. Make sure the Vikings have to give up way more than they need to. That's the way every Bear fan should think.
Yeah, and then just let the Bears and Lions, blue blood, old school NFC Central teams go head-to-head for the North, and it'll be great.
Are the Detroit Lion fans going to boo the Bears out of the first round with the first pick and the 9th pick? Are they just going to go, is this their day where they get to see just how loud their voices are?
It's funny, all the draft talk we've been doing in the last 4 months, I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, all those Lions fans just booing the heck out of the Bears.
The first pick could be booed louder than anything's ever been heard before in our life. In a Motown voice, just screaming out of downtown Detroit.
Well, and Caleb's gonna bring all that smoke on. He embraces that, and that's what I think we're starting to really love about Caleb Williams here.
I mean, it's gonna be one of those things in 2 weeks to watch, just to see the reaction of Lion fans right there.
It's gonna be a fun draft.
Just last one real fast. Is it over?
A tradition unlike any other.
Go ahead.
Carm getting the last question
in. I just want – look, Bleacher Report put out their mock draft like everybody else in the world. I think 8 people in our chat have a mock draft out there too, Baldy. And they've got Drake May as the number 1 quarterback in the draft. Is that the craziest thing you've heard today, or does that? Yeah, it is.
The craziest thing. Okay. Outside of, whatever happened to OJ, that's the craziest thing I've heard all day.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'm like,
I just want to know what games they went back and watched and go, oh yeah, this is the guy. Because I mean, you watch his last 2 games against North Carolina State and Clemson, and you go, that's going to be that's what you're banking on right there, those throws. Because when they tell me like, oh, not the most accurate guy, I'm like, well, when is he going to become accurate? Like, is that just going to change?
Well, to your point,
in a different area code.
To your point, Baldy, if the Bears' first pick is announced and it's Drake May, I'm going to be driving a white Bronco somewhere.
All right, that's a good line.
Yeah. Baldy, we appreciate you, man. We'll check in again before the draft, and looking forward to it.
Let's do it, guys. All right, enjoy it, man.
All right, there he is, Brian Baldinger.
That is why they will never credential me at House Hall.
That's not true.
I know, I'm kidding.
You're well, it might be true. But we're gonna stay optimistic on the show.
One of the best parts about talking to Baldy every time is just you never know what story is gonna come up.
He's got them all.
And that was actually a good way to put it. He's like Forrest Gump, but cooler.
Yeah.
He's lived a great life, man. Yeah. The more time we get to spend with Brian, the better. So that was fun as always.
All right. By the way, the secret best part of me trying to end an interview and then Carm asking one more question is that we had a discussion or a pre-show meeting about how we weren't going to bring up the Bleacher Report having
you were going to go,
and so not only did he went against that
twice.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was good. It was a good job by you.
And he gave a good answer.
Yeah, Masters is no longer the tradition unlike any other. It's Carm.
I stayed on my own side, and I helped the show.
Stay tuned to the end of the show when we try to end the show. All right. By the way, check out Lucy as well. Lucy Nicotine. Made for your nicotine routine, delivered straight to your door. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. You can choose your form, pouches, breakers, or gum. They have different strengths, too, because depending on what you need, maybe go the 2 milligram route. That's suitable for someone who uses nicotine infrequently. 4 to 8 milligrams more likely to satisfy if you have everyday nicotine routine, or you might all the way go up to 12 milligrams, which is if you've been underwhelmed by the effects of other nicotine pouches, you might want to go that way. Flavors include mint, apple ice, espresso, mango, and if you do the monthly subscription option, you could save 15% off. There's no commitment. You can cancel any time, and among the great customer reviews, best nicotine pouches I found. Feel and taste great. Couldn't be happier with my monthly subscription. You can level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CHGO Bears. Use promo code CHGO Bears to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping, has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co and use code CHGO Bears to get 20% off. And always free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. Every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
That's right. And I want to make sure everybody knows that right now is as good a time as ever to become a CHGO DieHard. 2 weeks until the NFL draft. You've got the Bears 100 draft guide that Adam Hoge has been working real hard on. Nick Moriano getting in there as well, getting the research in for you guys to be ready for this draft specific to the Bears' needs. Hoge also puts out a weekly newsletter.
Should we give a preview right now?
Give that preview. Fun.
Give me a name. Give me a name that, because I know you've studied our entire top 50.
Yes.
Definitely know. Give me a name.
Well, I mean,
a name.
I mean, well, if we're in the
second,
I'll
give you one.
I was going to say, if we're in the second round, I got a bunch of names, but I just don't know if we're going to get in the second round.
How about Graham Barton, center from Duke?
Graham Barton?
This is what you're getting in the, by the way, I believe Graham Barton made a top 30 visit to the Bears. Speaking of that. What you can get in our Graham Barton preview, profile within the Bears 100, My notes, which includes one of the more underrated players in the draft. Barton is a long-time left tackle who likely will shift inside due to having shorter arms. He got 5 starts at center back in 2020, which is why he projects well at that position. He's strong and athletic, climbing to the second level with ease. Motor runs hot, plays consistently hard on every rep. We also have his RAS score information in there, a couple other tweets with some highlights and stats. Actually, we got quite a bit of highlights of Grant Barton in here. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for all the information you can get on all these prospects. Includes their combine numbers, height, weight, the whole deal, our notes on them. So that's just one example. We got that for, by the time we get to the draft, we'll have 100 of those for you.
Yeah. Well, and I saw, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just thought it was important to throw in that Barton also majored in public policy. He minored in sociology.
That's the stuff you will not get.
Yeah.
Unless Carm actually puts some information.
The Carm beast.
Well, if Carm decides to contribute that, then you will get that type of information.
Beast, a Brugler beast, but it's the Carm beast.
I have my Carm beast. We got 5 things on Fashanu.
Nobody wants the Carm beast.
Everybody loves the Carm beast. It's an incredible mini beast. He's the son of Philip and Heather Barton. I need to get that out there, too. Now you can talk about what you need to talk about.
Shout out Heather Barton.
The Bartons.
Yeah, I did see Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl tweeting about Braden McGregor, the end from Michigan. You can't go wrong with Michigan players, so I'm interested to see where he falls on your.
You definitely can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay,
yes,
maybe you can. We're not going to besmirch the name of, great Michigan wide receivers that the Bears once drafted. Now, again, going back to the DieHard, when you become a CHGO DieHard,
what about the A-Train?
A-Train, Rookie of the Year, great guy. He hit first 100-yard rusher in when the Ravens didn't, back in their glory day of one of the best defenses ever. He got 100 yards on that Ravens defense. It was the first time.
This is why I love Brags. Ask him to name one prospect, top 50, didn't have a name. Name random player from the 90s that played for the Bears. Boom, 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 boom. That's why this show works. Well, I definitely would not have been able to do that.
Well, as you know about Braden McGregor, he's the son of Tara and Steve McGregor, who are great parents. How
do you know they're great parents, or did you just know what their parents are named?
Because I believe in the McGregors, unlike you.
So anyway, when you become...
Let me give you some insight. If you want to find Carm's beast, here's what you do. You go to wikipedia.com.
Nope.
It's called Cramapedia.
And that's the beast.
Nope.
Do you? Because they do take donations at Wikipedia. Do you donate?
Have you ever given one donation?
For all the stuff you hijack?
The best attack that you guys have ever had is this attack. I should donate to Wikipedia. You're right. And I haven't. Excellent call by you.
You should be.
I'll do it today. In fact,
you should be donating to Wikipedia, and the both of us.
But this
should
wasn't
be donating
from Wikipedia. I was on the school's,
on a daily basis.
School's website. Take that. Shout out Cap. Go ahead.
Again. So when you become a diehard, the other thing we always talk about in our meetings is don't I hijack ad reads. And this is
this one doesn't count, though. This is our promo.
This is internal, and it's exhausting every time you do it.
So when you become a diehard, you get a free shirt, like the one you see I have on. Free shirt right out the gate. You get plenty of cool merch. We're going to probably have some really sweet designs coming up here in a few weeks, I hope. Discounts on our events, including our NFL draft party that we were talking to you about earlier. Thursday night, completely sold out, but Friday night, we're running it back at Joe's on Weed Street, presented by Circa Sports and Casa Azul. Friday night, going to be breaking down the second and third round live. Corey Wooten will be there, and former Super Bowl champion Gary Fensick will be on hand, presented by the Collector's Cave. Make sure you come out. You'll have a chance to meet and greet him, get a little autograph if you want. If you head over to the Collector's Cave, they have a ton of great autograph memorabilia in their inventory at MakeSigningsFunAgain.com. What's the name of that website?
MakeSigningsFunAgain.com. We love our friends at the Collector's Cave.
Shout out to the Collector's Cave. Come on out Friday night. Going to be a great party. And then the after party is with Dalton and the Sheriffs, and Carm is apparently harassing them to get on stage.
It's not even harassment. They love me. McGregor was born July 12, 2001. He's enrolled in the College of Literature, Science, and Arts. He's also majoring in general studies, which if you went to college, I'm pretty certain you would have majored in general studies.
I went to college for like a year.
What is general studies?
I went to Purdue Cal for a little bit.
General studies means I go to Michigan, and I'm the only person in Michigan that's
I never
not
did.
studying.
You just Purdue Cal?
Purdue Cal, you met. It's in Northwest Indiana.
Oh.
I never did anything in school.
I didn't know. Yeah.
And then
Just end right there. That was the end of the sentence.
never did anything in school. So then when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, which was nothing, I just wanted to party and have fun and not have any responsibilities. When I went to Purdue Cal and paid for it myself, then all of a sudden I was like, okay, now I'm going to try because I'm paying for this.
Good for you.
We really should have vetted you more before we hired you.
No.
I don't think so.
Twitter vetted me out.
You were Twitter vetted. Okay, Hoge.
Yeah, let's turn the show over to Carm, which is always a scary sentence to say out loud. For 3 days now, he's been wanting to talk about what Montez Sweat said on the Green Light Pod, which we should talk about because Kyle Long came on the show earlier this week. That feels like 3 weeks ago by now. But it was Monday.
It was a great interview.
And Kyle's great, and he's part of the Green Light Pod with Chris Long, Kyle Long. So let's give them some love. Let's give Montez Sweat some love. Carm's got you covered on this one. What do we need to hear from this?
Well, first off, it was a great interview. So if you have time after you consume all the CHGO content, I would check it out. And we got some things to highlight. But just first off, at the start here, I thought it was interesting that when he came over to the Bears, he's like, "Well, what team am I on? Who are these guys?" But quickly, he said, quote, "I was in shock. I didn't know what I was walking into." Like he felt that the talent level on the Bears defense was far greater once he got to play on it than when he thought it was on the other side. So I thought that was, and maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid here, but I basically believed everything the guy said. TJ Edwards.
Yeah, didn't he like the linebackers?
Well, so here, and we have this one on the YouTube screen for you, but he said, "I don't know how Philly let him go. He's a selfless guy, really one of the best teammates I've ever been around, and I think we have one of the best linebacker cores in the league. Sneaky, real talk."
So there's actual evidence that backs this up too, because Philly had to let him go for cap reasons, essentially, even though he wasn't terribly expensive. But that's where they were. So the Bears, there was essentially a TJ Edwards, Nicholas Morrow trade that happened there through free agency, where Nicholas Morrow ended up on the Eagles. And one of the biggest now, I think Matt Patricia was the biggest problem that the Eagles had on their defense last year. But you talk to our guys at PHLY, and they'll tell you, losing TJ Edwards was a huge deal for them last season and a huge reason why that defense fell off a cliff by the end of the year. Didn't they end up dead last when it was all said and done?
I forget where they landed, but bottom line, Ryan Poles, good job, man. That was a win.
You saw, we've seen the multiplier that is Montez Sweat, and the linebacking core took off, just as everyone did on that defense. But the linebacking core took off as soon as Montez Sweat joined.
So he has a comment on Caleb too, but let me jump to because we'll stick with the defense for a second. What he had to say about Gervon Dexter Sr. And he is smiling his face off when Chris brings him up, and he says, "You're gonna see, man, he's pretty good. He's still kind of unlocking himself, being himself. I think he's really gonna flourish this year. He's a really talented kid. He's one of those real quick D tackles, but strong as hell. It's really a sight to see. He's going to jump out on the scene for sure." So
if that's all, if Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus feel that same way, then they're not going to be drafting Byron Murphy at number 9, who I really, really like. And that's to me right now as we sit here on April 11th. Shout out to my dad, Papa Hoge. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Papa Hoge.
Papa Hoge, April 11th.
MVP.
I think that's one of the biggest questions that we have unanswered for the 2024 season is Gervon Dexter, where he ended 2023, how they feel about him now in April and what he can be this season. Because if they have high hopes, if they believe what Montez Sweat said on that podcast, then that is just a huge answer that they need that's already on the roster. That would be huge.
Yeah, he also talked about he's like, look, when we put him outside, it's like he was impressed with me how he loves the athlete, and Gervon Dexter. So, again, if you want to see the facial expressions, go check out the Green Light with Chris Long podcast. He was very excited about Dexter. Now, they asked him for advice for Caleb, and he said, quote, and we have this one for you, be yourself. Don't try to do it all overnight and just stay humble. He kept on saying it. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You've got a great group of guys around you. So that was his advice to Caleb. I think
there's like this fear that Caleb feels the need to do it all. To me, I think that's just like a result of his situation last year. Because if you go back and watch 2022, it was not like that. I think all Caleb did was prove that if it comes down to I need to be Superman right now, I can do that. But I think if you plug him into an NFL team with enough talent around him, that he's going to play in structure. He's going to do what they ask. He's not going to feel like he has to do everything.
Well, but
I understand why these players are saying that.
Well, in the stat you guys, cited from the Beast, how he hadn't thrown an interception on 3rd or 4th down and 200 pass attempts. And that speaks against the idea that all he does is play hero ball, because those would be the moments where you would play hero ball.
Yeah, I
not saying that he hasn't done that, because you see it plenty.
Right.
But just saying in the moments that you would most likely play hero ball, he hasn't, at least from an interception standpoint.
Yeah.
I understand he's fumbled the ball.
I mean, I'm just hearing a guy, looking at the Bears roster and feeling pretty comfortable about the talent that's on the team, and him, of course, being one of the key parts to it. But they asked him also about Darnell Wright, last one here, and he didn't jump out of his seat on Darnell like he did with Jerron. But he said he's good. Of course, you go through struggles as a rookie. I played him actually in Washington when we played Chicago. He was better than I thought he was going to be going into it. I got a sack on him. It was a push-pull move. It's kind of one of those rookie mistakes. He kind of felt like the ball was gone a little bit, is how he said it. And then he ends with it with some big positives. Over time, he's got it all, footwork, the strength. Over time, he's going to be a stud. So basically underlining that, he's not there yet.
I would just like to point out, too, that, during season, they don't really practice against each other a whole lot. It'll be interesting to watch those battles more in training camp when it's ones versus ones more. Like he brought up in the, he did play him in a game, but still very limited sample size.
All right, and then on the slightly funner side here, and then we'll get to the Packers part of it. They asked him about a hot dog. He's like, I know about deep dish pizza, but I'm not so certain about hot dogs. Is that a Chicago thing? Like, he had no idea that hot dogs are a Chicago thing. And then he's like, and then he asked him, Long said, what do you put on? He goes, well, for me, it's, ketchup, mustard, and relish. It's like, is that a problem? Yeah, it's a problem, dude. And he's like, oh, well, my bad. I'm sorry. Like, the dude literally knows nothing about that Chicago's a hot dog place, which.
Trade him.
I mean, it's a problem, right? That's not good.
You're out of here.
No,
Your days are done, Montez Sweat.
Yes, Hoge, rescue him. Make an excuse for him.
This is a hard one for me. Because
here we go.
No, it's just if you're not from here,
everybody knows that. How does he not know that?
Does everybody know that?
I think most people know that. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know that a lot of people outside Chicago know that you're not supposed to put ketchup on a hot dog.
I'll give you one more.
But if you were born here, you better not put ketchup on your hot dog.
So what's a bigger crime, Hoge?
You can. You're from Indiana. You're not from there.
What's a bigger crime, Hoge? Ketchup on a hot dog or becoming a Brewers fan?
Ooh.
Depends if you're a White Sox, if you're previously a White Sox fan.
Okay.
Don't tell me you're going to be one of those guys in our Cubs Discord that were calling me a traitor and not spelling the word correctly, too.
These things happen.
If I was a Cubs fan who became a Brewers fan, yes, that would be definition of traitor. If you're a suffering Sox fan who is just looking to entertain your 9-year-old son who likes baseball and yourself at the same time because I like baseball, too, and like to see an entertaining product, and you happen to live in Lake County, Illinois, and it's easy to get to. There's nothing traitor about that.
You have to teach your kids about disappointment, too. Not everything can be happy, okay? So let James grind through all the tough times. The champagne will taste sweeter when he gets older.
We do have a bigger problem I haven't brought up yet.
I did see the clip of James, chipping onto the green.
Yeah.
What a shot.
You could learn some things from him.
What a shot, for real. That was really nice. Really nice.
That's about 45 yards out. Right
really
on the edge
nice
of the green.
swing.
Avoided the bunker. I haven't told you guys this yet. James's Little League team this year.
Oh, here we go.
Cubs.
Yes.
That's big. How do you feel about it?
He was upset.
That's good parenting.
He wore socks. First practice last night, he wore a socks hat.
That's good parenting. Good job.
See, so he's still in the suffering. You can tell, there's no chance I'm putting a Cubs hat on as like one of the coaches.
All right, Sweat trivia real quick here. It's good parenting. Be proud of yourself. He was asked, do you prefer to play indoors or outdoors? What do you think he said? He was asked if he
Indoors or outdoors?
Do you like playing indoors or
indoors?
Indoors?
Outdoors. Politically correct answer.
He said indoors. I'm going to be honest. I like playing inside. Do I feel like the league should build a bunch of domes, just put grass in them? Yes.
Yeah.
So he's going to be Sweat is going to be thrilled when we get the stadium built, and he's still dominating on the lakefront. And the last one here, Sweat on the Bears, 24 goals. Every year the goal is to get to a Super Bowl, but then he's like realism started kicking in basically. He's like, but hey, we want to win the division. That's the goal. I'm not losing to Green Bay this year. I can't do it. We've created a real rivalry over there. That one made the rounds.
You got some fucking jokes over here, Bo Chanton? You think that's funny? Why don't you come out to the draft party on Friday?
Uh-oh.
Bo Chanton with your Purdue jokes.
That's a good job, Bo Chanton.
We've been doing a really good job of not triggering brags about Purdue. For those listening to the podcast, Eric Bo Chanton with a comment here. Hoge let James become a Purdue fan and learn about disappointment.
He's the runner-up. He's the runner-up on this show, and
that should have been my comeback.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
You made it. You made it to the championship game, and you got to have all the experiences. You should watch the Iowa coach. I think Lisa Bluter, is that her name?
Yeah.
Bluter gave a great speech after they lost about it's not about a shiny trophy. It's about the experience. It's everything that you got to do together, and you got all of that. So congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. We're holding our heads high.
It's about the friends you made along the way.
Yeah,
it's about the Gregories that you made along the way.
No, for sure. No, we're hanging our head high.
Did you snuggle with Gregory?
Matt Gregory? Yeah, we snuggled.
They were in a pool together on the show.
Pool.
Big spoon or little spoon?
I'm always big spoon.
Come
on now.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, that's it. That's the Montez Sweat, Chris Long. Shout out to the Green Light Podcast. Shout out to Kyle Long for coming on with us.
All right, we also have some numbers drama that it's more news that Carman wants to make drama. So
well, our guy, I love him. Happy he's back, but Jalen Johnson, your quarterback's been gone for all of 5 seconds, and he's just grabbing that number 1 jersey. let it breathe for a second. Or can nobody wear one for a year and let it, But Jalen, he wore it at college at Utah. Now he wants it back, and he said all those nice things about Justin, but he's been gone for 5 seconds, and Jalen's like, give me that number 1, man. Called up Tony Medlin and got it done.
Or, he wore it in college.
He wore it in college. His Twitter account handle literally has NBAJ1, right?
Yeah,
there's an underscore in there, too. That's his number. Okay. And all due respect to Justin Fields, which Bear player, Bear resume is way better?
That wore 1?
No, just between the two players.
Oh, between the two. I see.
This isn't the Derrick Rose situation where who came in and tried to wear.
No, but I'm gonna try to create one here.
Who wore number 1?
Yeah, we know.
Who tried to wear Rose's number 1, and they got so pissed at him that he immediately changed.
Well, the Bulls did that, and he was like, "Get me out of this jersey." I can't call up Matt Peck. I forget myself.
Tyler Scott changed to number 10. If Tyler Scott was taking number 1, I would maybe go with you here on this point a little bit. But Jalen Johnson is now one of the highest paid players on the entire team. He just got paid big time. If he wants to wear the number of his choice that he wore in college, there's nothing wrong with that. Justin Fields was here for 3 years. It did not end well.
Listen, let's just put it this way. If I was Justin and I got sent to Pittsburgh and the second I was gone, you just took on the number, I wouldn't like that, Hoge. Braggs, Steven, Pizzitola.
Well, and then some people were claiming like, oh, well, Jalen and Justin were boys, so he was taking it so no one else would take it.
Now, if that's what he's doing, Michael Carter-Williams is right, D-Smooth. That's a good call.
He also maybe asked Justin, hey, is it weird at all if I take number 1?
Well, that will be a question
Then
for Jalen.
the other conspiracy running around with the numbers is Daniel Colton yesterday was doing some investigative reporting, and he tried to order a customized guy on Bears Twitter. He's just a fan. This isn't anybody that has a podcast or anything or says mean things about us if we're talking about the quarterback. Daniel is just a normal fan, but he was trying to buy a customized jersey, and he said when trying to enter number 18 customized on the Bears shop, it errors. However, choosing a different name for 18 doesn't result in an error. Furthermore, you can enter Williams for any other number. And his conspiracy was like, well, maybe the guess is because they won't allow the customization for that number because then Caleb wouldn't get a cut of that sale because once, it's official, then he gets a cut of those jersey sales. So Dante Pettis was announced that he's number 81, not 18.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're down to 13 or 18 at this point.
And we think Keenan Allen will be 13.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Because it didn't get announced. All the other new players were announced except for Keenan. So are they, leaving this up to Caleb? I mean, this is interesting here.
Well, what about the fans out there who bought the Trubisky jersey, changed it to Claypool? Now do you make the move and put Scott on there, or are you just going to wait that one out?
I thought you were going to say, is Danny Parkins going to regret buying that 13 Caleb Williams jersey?
He's already it's a $172 investment. I'll be okay. That's
okay. Just wondering.
I'm spending the weekend with Parco coming up here. I can get deep dives. Maybe we'll do.
Is this a Matthew Gregory situation? What do you mean spending the weekend with him?
Well, we're both going to a wedding out of town, and we're both in the wedding party. So I got a lot of Parco time coming up here.
Oh boy, Carman, the wedding party.
It's a bad idea. Horrible.
It's Nick's?
Yeah, it's a horrible idea. I'm gonna ruin the wedding.
Why?
I'm gonna ruin the wedding.
I don't know. I'm gonna spill something or something bad's gonna happen. I don't have a lot of faith in myself in these situations.
What's your go-to dance move on the wedding dance floor?
That I'll be fine.
Electric slide.
Have you seen him with the umbrella on the roof?
The shuffle, the electric slide. What are we doing here? What are you rocking with? Shout.
I don't think Daniel Wright's doing any electric slides and all that stuff. We're doing real things. This is
real things.
Real things, yes.
Okay.
Electric slide. That's that's like 1960s at the
Mambo number 5.
Yeah, we're no more Mambo number 5. Those days are done. We're going big time. Any rate, I'm done. Is there anything more that I need to cover?
No, just get ready for your DieHard celebration here. We're going to do shout-outs real quick. We also have some super chats to get to. I'll start with my shout-out is just to John Fox, who's leading the Masters right now. No, his name's Ryan Fox, but when you look at the Masters leaderboard, it just says Fox.
Hoge's leaderboard is the actual leaderboard. It's kind of adorable.
I'm just looking at Masters.
I'm surprised you don't have
Masters.com.
I'm surprised you don't have this live streaming while we're doing the show.
Most people go ESPN.com. You're going Masters.com for the actual leaderboard because you like the way it looks.
It does look pretty.
Yeah.
Ryan Fox from New Zealand. I thought you would know who his parents' names are by now, but you're not prepared.
I'm not. I can get there,
though. No,
though.
don't. Please don't.
Great parents.
Ryan Fox making his second Masters appearance. Finished tied for 14th in the Dubai Invitational. That's all you need to know. One of the guys I did not bet on.
How much time do you think you'll spend watching golf the next?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It ruined my morning that the tee times got pushed back today because I was hoping to wake up, watch the early tee times, drink my coffee before I sat in traffic to come down here, and then there was nothing. So at this point, I have not watched a single stroke of the Masters.
Chat, 1 for golf is the most boring thing ever. 2 for you're all in on Masters weekend.
Well,
1 for
you're losing that.
And
Okay, let's see.
And one thing-
1, golf is boring. I'd rather do anything else. 2, I'm all in Masters.
Well, and the biggest stroke of the day will be the middle guy on this show.
The stroke he has.
By the way, he's the son of former rugby union player Grant Fox and the grandson of cricketer Merv Wallace. So take that.
So he's got rugby and cricket. Well, he's New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. And Grant...
Me and Matthew Gregory went golfing, too, in Arizona. It was quite lovely.
That's adorable.
Okay.
Trying to find Grant's wife, but I'm coming up short on that. There you go. Tons of ones. Boringest thing of all time.
Yeah, one is actually winning here. I'm
Do you have
surprised.
a shout out or not?
And I'll tell you what, too. Have you ever had Grimaldi's Pizza?
No.
Dude, we had it down in Arizona. Ian Happ's favorite down when they're down there for spring training. And I love me some Salernos.
Did you go to Portillo's while you're down there?
No, why would I? I mean, we have Portillo's up here. What
They're
the hell?
everywhere now. They're like bigger in Arizona than here.
No, I mean, that's kind of jumped the shark at this point. It's too much of a chain thing. It's not like a...
I would agree with you if there
thing.
wasn't one 3 minutes from
Now,
my
the
house.
one thing I should have done while we were down there is I've never had In-N-Out Burger, and that was there.
You didn't do it? Still? It is really good.
And it was in Vegas, too, right?
Yeah,
And we
it's fine.
didn't do it. Like, whatever.
All right, my shout out is to the Northwestern Wildcats athletic program / football team. Nightmare scenario that was on the table. You know, they're redoing this Ryan Field, so they were going to play at SeatGeek Stadium and Comiskey Park and Soldier Field and Wrigley Field, and they'd have like 6 Cat fans there, and all of a sudden they were like, yeah, no, we can't do this. Let's go temporary bleachers on campus right next to the lake and put 14,000 purple in there, and it made a ton of sense, and they're doing it. So that's like makes me actually want to get Cat season tickets, and I work those games. So it's just fun. A great job.
Those games.
This. I am not on the show tomorrow. I won't be back till Monday. I love you guys.
No, but it is cool. This lakefront.
I'm excited about it.
The early season games will be great, but then as you get to the colder part of the year, off the lake like that.
It's a beautiful setting. It is cold as hell when the cold weather comes in. I mean,
so I'd love to go to an early season game there.
Last time I got you tickets to when number 1 Purdue was in there, you complained about the amount of tickets that I got you. How about if now this is all 14,000, it's going to be a tight stadium. If I get you seats, you're going to complain again?
If it's cold, yes.
I just want to know, do any of our CHGO diehards have a boat that we could just chill on Lake Michigan and watch the game from there?
Can we see the game from the boat?
I don't know. There's not. I'm intrigued on how this is going to look because they have to add a lot of stands. There's not exactly room on the lakeside.
There's no room on the lakeside.
There's some smart people over there. Maybe they'll build out
rocks and like a walking path. And then there's literally fence, 5 yards of space, and the sideline. Yeah. I don't even know how there's enough room for the teams.
They'll figure it out. They're brilliant over there.
Yeah.
Go Cats.
They'll build.
By the way.
Yeah. All right, super chats.
Or the diehards.
Shout out?
Yeah. Did you do the
you don't have
names?
No, I haven't. Do you have a shout out?
Shout out who? What?
Nuku 499. Happy Thursday, guys. One day until Friday. Let's go. Cheers to the best Bear show around. Bear down. Thank you, Nuke.
Nuku just makes everything better. Let's be honest. All right.
I'm going to just do super chats, but there, buddy.
Okay.
Isaac Siegel, $5. A moment of silence for all the white Broncos out there.
Time out. Kevin, what shirt are you wearing? Kevin is wearing a shirt. Get over here.
No, you got to
come back here. Kevin walks out of his office, and I'm like, he's wearing a shirt that
Who
says...
did that on purpose?
No, it was not planned.
In honor of OJ, he's wearing a shirt that says "All Juice Tea."
First off, it's not in honor of OJ, and I will actually take this this time to actually honor a good man who passed. My friend Therese Paler, who had the All Juice team for Yahoo Sports. So I often wear this shirt in the office, and I picked a very unfortunate day to wear it.
Yes.
Coming down here.
Therese was the man.
Shout out to Therese.
Shout out to Therese.
Therese was the man, and the all juice team was great. And the great thing about Therese is he would think that's funny. Therese would love that. So he would love that you accidentally wore that the day that
all juice team.
that OJ died.
I was like, what?
I didn't even notice it. That's fantastic. All right. And by the way, the other thing I'll be watching besides the Masters the rest of the day is just Norm Macdonald making fun of O.J. Simpson and all the clips that exist on YouTube. All right, Isaac Siegel, $5. A moment of silence. Oh, we already did that. A moment of silence for all the white Broncos out there. LOL, sorry. The Bronco made a comeback. Jake's got a Bronco.
Jake's got a Bronco.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're actually pretty sweet, the ones where the roof comes off and everything. Chi-Town, $65, $2. To get Caleb right is to get a monster left tackle is key. I'm not going to lie. When Baldy called Joe Alt Joe Thomas for a second, oh, yeah, here's a left tackle, just won't miss a single start for 10 years, and it'll go straight to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that guy.
That's what I mean. So when we left the combine, I thought they were going to draft a left tackle. That was kind of like my feeling, just to make sure you get this quarterback right. I want them to draft a wide receiver. I essentially want them to draft a wide receiver every year, though. So that's no surprise, at least anybody that follows me. But to me, when we talk about D tackle, DN, whatever, they have to get this Caleb Williams thing right. So to do that, put as much resources as you possibly can into him now and worry about whatever holes you have left next year.
No one can argue with that if that's the way they're looking at it.
Chi-Town. The last one. Zachary Hilborn, $2. Can you ask about defensive tackle Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa?
We'll get that done the next time we talk to Baldy.
I know a little bit about him.
Okay, Steven.
Obviously, he fills a need as defensive tackle, pro and con, I guess. He's older. He's 24, I believe. He played 5 years in college. One of the knocks on him is people are going to say that he played weaker competition in the FCS at the Missouri Valley, but the Missouri Valley is also one of the best divisions in the FCS. So, I mean, there's a need there. You could get him pretty late in the draft. I think I saw some mocks having him in like the 5th or 6th round.
So there's a lot of old prospects in this draft, and I was trying to figure out yesterday why the printing out the beast cost a lot more than it did last year. I know everything's going up, inflation and everything, but why is this like $30 more? And then I went back and I looked at last year's. It's like a lot more pages. And then I opened it after it was printed, and the reason why is because Dane puts literally every year is listed in their profile. And so many of these prospects have 6 or 7 years of college time compared to 3.
Go COVID.
And just think about how that expands every single page. And it's just crazy.
What did it cost you to print out the beast?
It was $80. Last year it was $56, I think.
This dude spent $80 for that 3-ring binder thing. That's amazing.
Three ring binder thing. That's going to save your ass on the draft night.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And my ass.
All of our asses.
I'm not just going to.
That's a good investment, man.
Yeah. How much did you donate to Wikipedia today?
Yeah.
Cheap ass.
I'm focused on the show. I'll let you know
Some
afterwards.
of us invest in our
comfort
knowledge.
in life.
Yeah.
And trying to do the best draft shows
we
possible.
don't just take Gary Ross handouts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you would never do that.
I do that.
Cuddy Kitty, $9.99. You got a second option if you come to Arizona for a Cardinals game. Wife and I got a 3-bedroom with a pool in the backyard. I was at all 3 games since 2006 when I moved here, and we win because of me, including the Dennis Green Butte. Bear down.
We have to go to Arizona. Have to.
I was thinking about this. We could just do a post-game show at PHNX. It seems feasible.
Yeah.
It's very nice of him, but I'm not staying with anybody named Cuddy Kitty. That's not me.
Problem with that, not that we need to hash this out on the show, is that PHNX is nowhere near where the game is.
Drive.
That is such a Hoge statement of all time.
Just going straight
He's already into logistics. Yeah, I know it's a little far, so it's probably not
40 minutes with traffic getting out of there.
right. Then
At
we got
least.
traffic. What about the wind coming off the mountains?
It could be a dust storm.
Could be a dust storm.
Caleb Williams is going to cause a dust storm.
Last time we were in Arizona, you're like, "This is the mountain we're going to be doing over there." Is good. You are a logistical master.
I am dialed in on the valley. All right, been there many times. All right,
Thank you, Cuddy Kitty.
you can make fun of me all you want. I'm going to keep this operation floating here and try to end the show. Please, God.
You are our
What's
barge.
next? Which one's next?
Hoge barge.
Pizzatola.
I love Pizzy.
I'm mad at Pizzy.
Carm, why can't we accept that teams are high on J.J. McCarthy? You haven't even watched his film. This is why I lovingly hate you with a burning passion. Pizzy, he threw the ball 3 times. There's an
And you couldn't even watch those 3 throws.
Pizzy, I have watched him, and I'm not saying he doesn't have, things to like about him, but he's not exactly accurate at all times. He hasn't
like him.
proven, to Baldy's point, if you put him on an offense like Washington where he's asked to throw a lot, he's never proven he can do that. So I'm not saying that he's not worthy of being drafted and somebody you want to develop into a potential quarterback option on your team. But to draft him top 5, to have the Vikings trade up and give up multiple first-round picks to draft him, go for it. I just don't see it on that level of prospect talent. But I get the league is quarterback hungry.
I'm
so.
Team Pizzatola on this one. Like you say, he hasn't shown he can throw. The only spot he can't throw to the field is to his left, which is kind of his blind side anyway. It showed up at the combine.
A lot of big portion of the field is to your left.
I mean,
The whole left
did you just say what you just said?
I just saw what I
percent of
just
the
said.
field.
Can't throw to his left. Not worried about it. That was Mitch Trubisky, dog. Can't see left.
He's a dog. He's a gamer.
absolutely a
I
dog.
get all that.
And the only reason he didn't throw so much is because they were winning games. That's why they won the national championship. They had Blake Corum just
Right.
running
They're
wild.
running
You
team.
don't need to throw that much when you're already winning.
With Steven,
But he
you
hasn't-
trade up 3. You give up 3 first-round.
I wouldn't do that trade.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's more talented and we're probably giving him credit.
I
for.
wouldn't say anything if he was drafted around 25, but top 5, I just think is lofty.
I will say I first time maybe ever, but I strongly disagreed with Baldy when he said that Washington wouldn't have made the national championship if J.J. McCarthy was their quarterback. I think they would have. Yes, I don't. I think I like Penix. I think I would take J.J. first.
I want to clarify and say left sideline. He's
Penix
not good
in
at throwing to the left sideline.
Penix in the semifinals. Now, granted, that's one game.
Did you watch the final?
Yeah, I understand. It was a complete.
And that's the Penix experience.
Rob
You don't know
Daniel.
what
I'm
you're
guessing Braggs and Carm together have seen 50 throws. Rob, I watch college football every Saturday. I'm not playing tennis. Thank you, Rob.
Excuse me. I work on a college football game every single weekend. You will take that back right now. I would rather.
I take it back. I'm
I'd
going to
rather be
direct my
watching
angst
tennis.
towards Rob. Rob, I can promise you I've watched more J.J. McCarthy than you have. So take that, Rob.
And Carm's
Now come
watched
to the
more-
goddamn draft
I'll
party
tell
on
you
Friday.
everything you need to know about Ben
I was
Bryant.
going to say Carm's watched more Ben Bryant than Ryan Poles has.
By the way, that Northwestern does play in the Big Ten. I've seen plenty of Big Ten football, and I'm not saying. Listen, again, I'm actually with Braggs on this. I totally fine. Take JJ 20th, 12th, whatever. Trading up 3 first-round picks for JJ McCarthy is insane to me. That is insane. I hope they do it.
Yeah, let's hope the Vikings do it. All right. Was that it?
No,
No.
it's not. It's not
Michael
over.
McCoy, $5. Carm, it's a number. Stop trying to make drama over nothing.
Oh, McCoy. Don't you understand? It's April 11th. We need some drama.
Michael must be new to the show. Welcome. We appreciate
new.
the super chat. I know he's not, but Ryan Maring, $5. Carm, can we have a hair bet this season? Don't be a coward.
We can. You got to let me know what your bet is. I said last year that Justin wouldn't throw for 4,000 yards. People were like, oh, Carm's going to have to shave his head. The guy didn't hit 2,600, and everybody screamed to me every day whenever we said anything minorly constructive in the criticism on him. So what's the bet? I'm telling you that I think that if they let Caleb go, he might break Andrew Luck's single season record. So I'm not sure what you want to bet.
If
that's
Caleb throws for less than 3,500 yards, you have to shave your head.
If Caleb I'll do it this way. If Caleb throws for less than Justin's 25.62, I'll shave my head. Done.
Okay, I'll take it.
He goes under 25.62. It's not fair.
I mean, that's fine because we'll need something to be happy about if that's what ends up happening. We'll need something to make me smile. I don't even think that'll do it, to be honest with you.
Oh, it'd be horrible. Bears win 4 games. He sucks.
The only thing worse will be.
I don't even think I'll ever actually see you get to shave your head because I'll probably jump off a bridge.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing that would be worse than that
Well,
than that all playing out.
Sounds like some good content.
I mean, content. You're no longer around. Like, no, we can't have.
I'm
that.
not doing a show with bald Carm. No one wants to see that.
Bald
Baldy.
Carb and dead Brags would be bad for business. That's not what we need. It's going to be a good season. Damn it. We're going to be this talk of the NFL. That's the plan. Can I shout out the DieHards or is there more? That's it.
DieHards.
DieHards are so. First of all, I was at the UC the other night and my guy came running up on me, Steve. Shout out to you, Steve. You made my night. You were so enthused to get a little CHGO Bears Bulls thing. That was cool. I apologize that it took me a second to get to it, but shout out to Steve. And then thank you for the support. And then over to our diehards. First off, we got Eric. Eric's a guy that
It's Eric Beauchamp, then
It's
it's
not-
a guy that sucks.
you lay off Beauchamp. This is the number 1 thrower in the history of the Chicago Bears for a single season. This is the guy that plays a great third base. This is the guy that does need to work on his tipping. From one of the Erics that I know. But you're also a great Hawks fan, great Boston Celtics fan back in the day. Big E, no longer a Celtics fan, diehard Bulls fan. He's a diehard. Thank you, E. Joe. I'm thinking of a great man by the name of R.I.P. Joe Piacente. I'm thinking of a great man by the name of, this guy Joe is sexy. He's got the flowing hair. He's a leader. He's somebody that when you go into battle, you want Joe by your side. Joe, diehard number 2 today. And Alex. That's my middle name. You're in the family, Alex, whether you like it or not. The Carm has adopted you. You are Alex Diehard Carm. Mark Alex Carman. Alex Diehard Carm. We are together, hand in hand, walking down Diehard Lane all the way to victory. Alex, thank you for joining up. Love you. You're the man. The big A.
Now back to the logistics. If we do the post game from the bar,
Carousel.
West, it's right there.
That's
we
what
can
I
walk
said.
outside the stadium.
Dude, we have
So,
to. I know
yeah.
we do a lot of
Right.
fun shit here at CHGO Bears, but we have to go to Arizona.
Okay.
We have free room and board. People are offering us free places to
But
stay.
can we put Carmen and Uber to go to PHNX to do the show?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. All right.
Anything for the show. Whatever you guys need. However I can help
Well, we
you.
need you to.
I'll stay at Matt Gregory's again. I don't care. We all can.
No.
We all can?
I'm staying
Sure.
I'm staying at that Renaissance that's right there. All right.
Hoge Mansion. Go to
yeah.
Renaissance.
100%.
Is there a shared room somewhere that I could take a nap in? That's what I need.
Cuddy Kitty's got you. He said 3-bedroom with a
Yeah,
pool.
but I've torched Cutler, and it'd be hypocritical for me to stay with Cuddy Kitty.
It would be. All right, we're out of here. Carm's out of here all weekend. And
Where are you going?
Going to a wedding. We talked
that's
about
right.
it 5
My
seconds
bad.
ago.
I didn't
No
hear
worries.
that.
Yeah,
I
we
wasn't
got a fun guest for you playing tomorrow. Make sure you
Big
tune
time.
in noon. Nick will be back from his little mini vacation he took down to Florida this week, and I don't think he posted enough photos on Twitter, so hopefully he'll post a couple more. And we'll talk to him tomorrow. Special guest coming your way as well. Noon tomorrow.
You going-
CHGO Bears.
You're going undercover on that guest?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Truth, miss you, love you.
Yeah. You know why I'm going undercover on that guest.
Oh, I do know why.
Just to be safe.
Good move. Good move.
At CHGO_Bears is where you follow us on Twitter. Come to the draft party. Tickets available. allchgo.com/events. Go get them. And we're going to have a fun time. Thursday night sold out. Friday night's going to be awesome.
Happy
And
birthday to Jose Diaz. Turned 34 today.
There you
Sweetness.
go. Happy birthday, Jose. Happy birthday, Papa Hoge. Well, we'll be having a birthday dinner later tonight. Can't wait. See you guys all tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.